show, coming to you from the village of Morningside, snuggled in the beautiful Ozark Mountains. I'm Kevin Shorey and the Morningside Band and Singers. And now, direct from Grace Street at Morningside, here are your hosts, Jim and Lori Bakker.
Welcome to Grace Street.
Hi there.
Very happy to have you here today. So much is in the news that we want to share that. We have a lot to talk about today.
Much.
You know what scares me? The news is getting worse, and it's like the church is ignoring it more.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the more it keeps developing in all the events of the biblical time. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. And you know, I'm still shook up from, and I know that you saw it recently, Benjamin Netanyahu addressed our Congress here in America.
Yeah.
I mean, just that sign in itself of the things he was saying. I mean, I'm sitting there. I remember I was sitting there looking at the TV show, and my friend Andrew Bellers, who works with us in the research, there was times where I'm shaking my fist. Yes, go on.
Yes.
I'm standing up. I'm dancing. There was nothing I've seen in such a long time that just screamed, oh my goodness.
Right.
We are so close to these revelation events unfolding. I mean, they've already started to unfold, but the vast, I mean, just the it's really here.
It's really here.
Whenever I was watching, it's like, oh my goodness, it's really happening.
That's
Prime
exactly
Minister
right.
Netanyahu was invited by our Congress. Is that right?
That's right. Yes.
He didn't invite himself. And it's just been a strange event. We don't have time to talk about it because we're going somewhere today on the program. But it reminds me of Esther.
Yes.
Sasha, you remember you were reading Esther, I think, the day before.
Yeah, and actually it was pretty crazy because that night before he gave that address to the Congress, I just felt led. I had gone to sleep and I actually woke back up and I was uneasy and I just opened up my Bible, and the first thing it opened to was Esther, and that was where I was going. And so I opened up my Bible and just read the whole thing. I read all of Esther that night. And as I sat there and just really processed really what it took for her, first of all, to stand up and what it took inside to understand really the call that God has chosen her to do, but then go up to the king and tell him to save the people.
That's right.
That God told her to do that. And so going through that, I just really processed it and sat there all night. And then really, what really God put in my heart was just figure out where that is today. Look up. And so I'm in there like turning on the lights and trying to figure out where is Persia today, and really looking at it and seeing that whole area is Iran now.
Netanyahu came to talk about Iran.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yes.
ask our help to keep them from getting the
Nuclear
atomic
war.
bomb or the nuclear
That's
warhead.
exactly right. You know, I actually have the transcript, the entire transcript here of Benjamin Netanyahu's speech. Do you mind if I share that small portion of Esther?
I would
No,
love that.
but-
I loved it
What-
when
what-
he would start talking about Esther.
I'm going to ask you another little thought. What was the day after his? Do you remember what event in Jewish history was the day after?
I just get so excited about this because out of any day that God could have orchestrated Benjamin Netanyahu coming to address America, out of the 365 days in a year, he comes to address America the day before the Purim feast.
Yes.
Now, what is that? On that day, they read the entire book of Esther. And it's all about Queen Esther going before the king on the behalf of all the Jewish people. Why? For their entire salvation. It was an existential issue. She went before the king and said, listen, if you don't help me out, my people are going to be no more.
That's right.
And the day before the Purim feast started was the day that Benjamin Netanyahu came to America and addressed our king, so to speak.
And he literally begged us for help.
Yes.
Stand with our country. He
Yes.
said we have been destroyed time and time again. We have been in the Holocaust, and we have been destroyed. And people would always say, well, why don't the Jews fight? Well, all their guns were taken away from them. All
That's
their
right.
armaments was taken away from them. So they had nothing to fight back with. But they said, in his speech, didn't he say something like, we will never not fight again?
That's right.
But I can guarantee you this. The days when the Jewish people remain passive in the face of genocidal enemies, those days are over.
And yet our country keeps asking them, give up land. And every time we do, and I'm concerned what's going to happen to America. I really, really am. And I'll let you go on with that, because I could take an entire program to discuss this, because I'm telling you what's headed for America. We're in deep trouble, people.
That's right.
This is like King David would come to our country and ask us to help them.
Yes.
And this is the leader of Israel.
Right.
And he came and addressed our country. And part of our people turned their back on him.
Yes.
And the last time we snubbed him, one of the terrible tragedies, and they keep happening. Every time we do something to tell Israel to divide their land or get, whose land is it? God says it's my land.
That's right.
It's his land.
Yes.
And he said, you don't give it up.
And every single time that we have come against Israel, within 24 hours, we have experienced the most costliest disasters that America has ever experienced. For example, Katrina, 9/11. There are just so many different events. I mean, the Word of God talks about how the Jewish people are the apple of God's eye.
Yes.
And every time we do something to Israel, just get a visual of us literally poking God in his eye.
That's right.
You can't poke the God of the universe in his eye and not expect anything in return.
But the craziness, too. Persia is where Esther was.
Exactly.
Is that right? You just told us that.
Iran is now, this is the modern Persia nowadays. And so if you look back, that's the same group of people that were trying to take out the Jews back then, and that's happening again today. That's what the Prime Minister came here to warn us and ask for our help in this.
The Prime Minister said many powerful things.
I just want to share this one portion from the speech, because I just want to take a couple minutes, because I just think it's so important. It's everything we've been discussing right now. And he says this: my friends, I've come here today because as Prime Minister of Israel, I feel a profound obligation to speak to you about an issue that could well threaten the survival of my country and the future of my people: Iran's quest for nuclear weapons.
We're an ancient people. In our nearly 4,000 years of history, many have tried, repeatedly, to destroy the Jewish people. Tomorrow night, on the Jewish holiday of Purim, we'll read the book of Esther. We'll read of a powerful Persian viceroy named Haman, who plotted to destroy the Jewish people some 2,500 years ago. But a courageous Jewish woman, Queen Esther, exposed the plot and gained for the Jewish people the right to defend themselves against their enemies. The plot was foiled. Our people were saved.
Then he says this:
today, the Jewish people face another attempt by yet another Persian potentate to destroy us. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, spews the oldest hatred of anti-Semitism with the newest technology. He tweets that Israel must be annihilated. He tweets. You know, in Iran, there isn't exactly free internet. But he tweets in English that Israel must be destroyed. For those who believe that Iran threatens the Jewish state, but not the Jewish people, listen to Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, Iran's chief terrorist proxy. He said, if all the Jews gather in Israel It will save us the trouble of chasing them down around the world.
And he gives this speech the day before this feast happens, all about the story of Esther, presenting their case before the king. It's simple, like we always talk about. It's history repeating itself.
Yes.
Where it's these interesting cycles of God that nobody could have orchestrated this but God himself.
That's right.
And so therefore, if it matches so perfectly to what this ancient story of Esther is, then what is God trying to say to us today through what happened recently with this speech?
So good. It was so powerful. I agree with you, Zach. And
You
know,
love this story of Esther.
Oh, absolutely. I've preached on it. I think it's in almost every single message I have, going through sermons and messages. And I just pulled one out from a long time ago. But I just looked again at it. And, it's all about becoming that willing vessel. I believe that when the Prime Minister delivered this message, he had to become that willing vessel to be used to save his people. He basically said that. And in Esther, that when you go to Esther 4:14 through 16 in the New King James, it says, "For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place. But you and your father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" First of all, she had to be that willing vessel to be used. Otherwise, he would have found somebody else. And don't you want to be that willing vessel to be used? Because God will find somebody else if you don't speak up. Then Esther told them to reply to Mordecai, "Go gather all the Jews who are present and fast for me. Neither eat nor drink for 3 days, nights or day. My maids and I will fast likewise. And I will go to the king, which is against the law. And if I perish, I perish."
This is the land that God gave to Israel. And I'm very concerned because America is going to be in deep trouble if we turn our backs on Israel. We really, really need to stand with. We are connected to Israel. And we're Israel's friend.
Yes.
And Israel doesn't have a lot of countries standing with her. But we're probably the main one in the world. And I'm sure she has other friends, but not like we are.
Right.
We've been talking about ISIS. We've been talking about all the things going on in the world. And I have a whole list and all the sheets here. They're on my table here. This is one that is not perhaps important, but it would be important. And I understand they have the bomb already. So they're not trying to get the bomb. But Kim Jong-un, or how you pronounce his name, reportedly tells North Korean army to prepare for war with the United States of America. Is that a true headline?
That's right. Yes, and it's actually from Fox News, and it says the prevailing situation where a great war for national reunification is at hand requires all of the Korean People's Army. This is their supreme leader speaking here. It says it requires all of the Korean People's Army's units to become elite guard units fully prepared for war politically, ideologically, and military technique and materially. Kim reportedly told the army to train to tear to pieces the stars and stripes. And we've talked about these articles before, so this is what he's saying to prepare for now, but I don't want to say it's old news, but it's really old news that North Korea, it's fact that they already have a nuclear warhead that's strategically designed to put off these super gamma rays. That's a fancy way of saying they have a super EMP bomb. They've already tested it. They started testing these over the ocean in 2011. They already have these vices to really destroy an entire nation right now. And right now they're threatening specifically the United States.
We've been asking our partners to really stand with us. And then these headlines keep happening. And, do you know a lot of the headlines that we deliver, you don't hear them on your news station, do you? You people in the audience, do you hear them? You don't hear them all, do you? You hear some of them. But what happens is that kind of news, like the one we just read about North Korea, it's not considered important enough to be read as a headline today.
One of the articles that Pastor and I were recently discussing, and he said, Zach, have you been seeing this in the news? I said, Pastor, I didn't see this article anywhere. And it's such a powerful article, especially what we've been talking about recently concerning this prophecy of what ISIS has been saying, how the message to the nation of the cross and threatening Rome that, we're just south of Rome. And with their magazine, how they place the black flag of ISIS above the Vatican, and that we don't even hear about this article. Let me tell you what it says. Vatican confirms ISIS threat on Pope Francis's life. The pontiff condemns intolerable brutality of jihadists. Did you guys hear in the news about Pope Francis is actually having a threat by ISIS?
Oh yes, ISIS is threatened to kill the Pope and destroy Rome. They said they will destroy Rome. So this is what's going on. In a few weeks, a few months in life, in our life period now, the whole world could crumble with events that we don't have armies big enough to take care of them all.
Yes.
Right now, we have enough soldiers, according to what I've heard from our government, to take care of two major wars, or two wars, not really major ones, but outbreaks at a time. And if we have beyond that, and we're cutting our armies back. We're just literally not laying them off. We're literally firing our soldiers and bringing in new ones to save money. Because it's you don't have to pay as many benefits when you have a young soldier. But you look at these headlines, and we won't take time to read them all today. It says ISIS threatens Twitter. Doesn't that sound strange? ISIS threatens to kill the leaders and the employees of Twitter.
That's right. Yeah, and it's because what Twitter did was they actually shut down the Twitter feeds, the Twitter accounts of ISIS, and now they're threatening to literally kill them. It says here from The Guardian, it says, ISIS supporters have threatened Twitter employees, including co-founder Jack Dorsey, specifically with death over the social network's practice of blocking accounts associated with the group. This is what they said. Your virtual war on us will cause a real war on you. It warned that Jack Dorsey and Twitter employees have become a target for the soldiers of the caliphate and supporters scattered among your midst.
Yeah. All of this is happening. And we've talked about how extreme weather is a sign. And one of the great prophets, Rick Joyner, has told us that the extremes of weather will be a sign. And he told us this years ago. You have said that even the earth, the trees, where you're going speaks to you. I remember one time you talking about a jet airplane. And when the meters on your do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
If they go hot or cold, that you kind of deal with that. But you said if they're going hot and they're flipping back and forth, your engine's about to explode. And so you would liken that to conditions in the world.
Yeah, it's one of the things you learn when you start flying jets. It's really true of any engine, but even if the instruments are staying within acceptable parameters, if they start oscillating, you've got a serious problem. And if they start oscillating to greater extremes, it's it's more serious. A little oscillation may be acceptable, but the more it oscillates, well, this is what's happening in the world. We're having extreme temperatures. We're having extreme rains, extreme everything.
More rain than ever in places. More drought in places.
Yeah, and it's a whole lot more than what scientists are attributing to global warming. I mean, they're seeing a little tip of the iceberg and thinking the whole thing's here. No, it's way bigger than that.
And this article says right here.
A week ago.
Yes.
A week ago.
That's right.
The National Weather Bureau.
Yes.
Reported over 2,000. How many was it?
It was 2,185 cold records broken or in 1 week.
1 week.
Crazy.
Is that extremes?
Yeah.
See, that's as extreme as you can get. That's the breaking of the. And here in the hills,
We
we don't
would.
have a lot of snow usually. Every week we have another blizzard or an ice storm. And I'm telling you what, I'm from Michigan. I know 15-foot snowbanks. But I want to tell you,
It's a little
in these
different.
here hills,
It's a little different.
1 inch of snow, nobody goes.
Well, the thing
Nobody
is, it's
moves.
ice.
You know,
It's all
it's
the
because,
curves
well,
and
we
all
got
that.
big
Curvy-
cliffs to fall down over,
Curvy
too.
roads.
And
Yes.
curvy roads.
Yes.
So, but all of these and these records broken in the lowest climate records broken, 1,913 lowest weather in history.
That's right. And then you talk about the ties. There was 272 temperatures that actually tied the record low as well.
You know, today I wanted to do something, and we kind of got to talking a lot about, we're all stirred up about Israel, which we always are, I just, I was thinking about all these extreme weathers.
Yeah.
And we're thinking about, you mentioned in the news, you mentioned about the solar storms,
Yes. So
The-
through the EMP.
the EMP
yes.
bomb. You mentioned extreme weather. And so if the EMP bomb drops, and why is Iran working so hard? There's two enemies. They got a lot of enemies. They want to take over the world. But they have two main enemies called Little Satan and Big Satan.
Yeah.
Well, the United States is Big Satan, the great Satan, and Israel is the little Satan. And they want to wipe us both off the face of the earth. And they want to use things like the electrical magnetic bomb. And we have enemies. We have other enemies. North Korea says, prepare for war with the United States.
Right.
You say, well, they can't affect us. One bomb shuts off every car, every truck, every electrical motor.
Literally, the planes would fall from the sky. No more banking systems. I mean, like I've said this before, it would literally be like we're going to be living in the 1700s again. And except for the people in the 1700s knew how to live in the 1700s.
That's right, Zach.
and-
Well, that's a brilliant
and
comment. And
Governor Huckabee, when he was here,
It's true.
confirmed everything I knew about it. I was shocked.
he did.
But he said most of the people in Congress, in the Senate, they know, but nobody does anything about it. And I asked him, if you're elected president, would you do something about it? And you watched our show, you know his answer. I'm not trying to be political. I'm just trying to tell you, there's situations, and the Bible tells us the world's going to be on fire. The world's going to have these problems. It's going to have earthquakes. It's going to have all of these events take place. Fiery things coming from the sky. All these things will happen in the last days.
Yeah.
And yet man is so cocky. Basically, God's word explains it very clearly that we can get by so long. We think that, well, we can control the stock markets, we can control this, we can control the hunger of the world, we can do this, but we can't control earthquakes. We can't control hurricanes. We can't control volcanoes going on. Man is not in control. And it's time for God's people to be ready, to be
Yes.
prepared.
Yes.
But one of the things that I think about for years and pray nightly, and I have dreams about it, and I pray, how can people have food? Well, a few years ago, we found 20, 30-year shelf life food, so we started offering that. And we have thousands and thousands of people that have watched our broadcast, and they're ready with food.
That's exactly right.
And, just recently I found a radio, Kevin. I see
Love
you have
this.
one of my little
Love
radios.
this. It's going home with me.
Isn't it great?
It is wonderful because it's always been able to power it because you have the hand crank, you have the solar power, and you have the rechargeable battery.
Right.
So you have so many different ways to keep it charged. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
You know us in solar. We love solar.
Love the sun.
Solar's been given a bad name, but I'll tell you what, when all else fails, that's the sun's out there. Now, if you say the Bible talks about the sun going dark, well, this radio happens to have something else, Kevin, doesn't it?
It does. I can get my workout.
Demonstrate that for us.
Yes, I get my workout. Crank away.
Crank.
Charge it up
And
with the hand
cranks it.
crank.
But you could. It also has special, all for the modern plug-ins here on the back.
Well, this USB cable,
Right.
also the port is there. That's another way to charge it. Actually, you can
That's
actually
right.
charge it from your computer.
There's the plug, and you can
USB
plug.
port.
USB.
Yep, that's a USB port, and you'll find them on your computers, but you'll also find them on this radio. And so anything that has a USB charger, you can plug it right into the radio, and you can charge it right from there.
Yeah, you said all
Awesome.
other stuff, girl stuff, and
Yeah, you can actually you can charge your phone, you can charge your iPad, you can charge really anything with a USB charger on it.
and so you have all these plugs, and then the electric plug,
Yes,
and
the
then an
AC
antenna, antenna, because the big thing with this radio, and I didn't want to get this deep in with this radio today, but a lot of people are ordering them. We have thousands of them in stock that we can ship out to you, and we may change colors on you because we just can't guarantee. We want to get shipping, and we don't want to run out of a color. They come in red, greens, blues. They're all different colors. Just pray that God gives you a color you like. Okay, but because I don't want to get behind on shipping because we ran out of one color. But they're wonderful, and the way it's built, you can hit it. See how the corners are made? So it's just solid.
Oh, it's
Very
solid.
sturdy.
It's the ultimate radio
It really is.
for the end times. I mean, it is an end times radio, and it even has other cool little things on there. Like it has a flashing red light for a signaling.
Yeah.
And then incredible, on the back side of the solar panel, it has an LED flashlight, which is extremely bright. Yeah, there's the red flashing light.
Yeah, see, I have mine. This is called the SOS.
SOS.
Yeah, see that? If you're alongside the road in the dark, that will show.
Great
It doesn't
idea.
show.
Keep one in your car. So you
And
should
that's-
have one in your home and keep one in your car as well.
And then it has a
Awesome.
bright flashlight.
Bright
And then it
flashlight.
has you lift up the solar charging panel.
Yes.
And underneath that turns into light.
And those are really bright LED lights.
I mean, those are bright. They don't look bright on the screen, but boy, they're bright. We got TV lights on in
Yeah.
here, so with these TV lights in this, isn't that bright, Kevin?
It's bright. It's
you could write a
wonderful.
song in the
Yes,
dark.
I could. I totally could. But we're not even talking about the great features of the radio itself.
Yes.
With not only AM, FM, but the shortwave.
The
The
shortwave.
shortwave 1
And-
and 2.
And I should play the radio some for you because it's got one of the best tones
It really
for this
does.
kind of portable radio. It has FM,
Yes.
it has
and
AM,
And I
but
love
the
it.
reason,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I love the shortwave idea. I just love it because you can
I
go
didn't know
to
you
other countries.
knew that.
Oh yeah, I love all that kind of stuff. You
No,
know
I'm
me, I like
serious.
all the information I can get. No, I love that. Yeah.
It's 2 full bands of shortwave, and that means in the middle, if the grid goes down,
right.
you can get radio from all over the world. You could hook another antenna, but you got an antenna with it. But you hook an antenna and run a wire up in the tree, if you need it to want to go high. But when you can't find out, is Washington gone?
Yeah.
Is anybody coming for us? Is it what's going on? Why is all the power out? Why are no radio stations on? Why are no This one radio will work in that moment,
That's exactly
and you can
right.
pick up the Canadian stations, the Mexico stations, but you can pick up the European stations.
That's right.
You can pick up shortwave from all over the world on this radio, and that's the reason I selected this radio.
I love. You know what else I love about it? What else I love about it is
What?
it has the weather band.
Oh,
There's weather.
I forgot that.
weather, 7
I
different
love
weather
it.
bands.
The weather girl.
Yeah, I love it. Jim, he said to me the other day, I don't know why you didn't become a weather girl. He constantly catches me watching the Weather Channel, the different ones that there are now. I love it. And I just am fascinated by it, and I know to watch the weather. I said when I lived in Phoenix, I really didn't have to watch the weather because it was just the same all the time. But you know, when you move out of any kind of that kind of a region into any other parts of this country, you better be watching the weather and
That's
seeing
right.
what's going on. But what I love about this is that familiar guy's voice comes on. Like during the tornado season, I always have my little my radios stationed
the
around
weather.
the house, and I listen to him to say what's happening, if it's coming near us.
And
And
at the end of it, I managed to get an 87, a B. So
there's somebody talking right there.
Yeah,
Sound
I would
like
just.
English.
And you know, this solar emergency radio, it also has the weather alert. So
I
if there's
love
any type of national, weather emergency, it'll actually turn itself on and it'll let you know what's going on.
You must have that. You have to have that. If you live in hurricanes, if you live in tornado country, if you floods, you have to have that.
You're exactly
So
right.
this would be $99.99,
Mm-hmm.
but we're offering it right now for $65. And we're asking everybody today to do something.
Right.
We've gotten behind a bit, as you know, and we're going to get caught up with a miracle. And if you'll help us with our mini-thon today, we don't have enough time to do a telethon, but this will be a kind of a mini-thon. And if you could give $65, and then we know people are already starting to order these. They just came out. They're just
Oh my goodness.
this
I'm so
is
excited about this.
an absolute
It's
amazing.
the best.
And this is the pH2O.
That's right.
pH2O pure water purification system.
And I think we're all really excited about this product. We've been ready to talk about it. We've talked about it a little bit on air, but I'm excited to really go into just what this pH2O pure Seychelles water bottle can actually do on today's broadcast.
Yes.
Well, you know, we've had so many people want to get pH. We've had doctors on our program.
Yes.
I know Dr. Colbert. He comes
Yes.
on and he tells us the value of pH. But everybody says, well, the machines just cost too much.
Yes, I mean, some of those machines, I mean, I know that Lynn, your secretary, has a machine, and it's $1,500. And honestly, that's pretty cheap on the spectrum of what these things can actually cost. We've seen them go all the way up to $5,000. And the crazy thing is, Pastor, is that these machines, which their process is actually called ionizing water. Now, here's the thing. Whenever you have these machines, those type of machines, they only raise the pH for 24 to 48 hours. This water bottle will increase your pH, and it will last with that high pH for 30 days.
That is awesome. Okay,
Is that
now,
not incredible?
Here's what I think we need to do. I think we need to go back to the basics. Maybe some of you are wondering, why do I need pH water? Because there's so many people that, you hear about it, the acidity levels in your system, in your body, the alkaline levels. And I think if you go back to, what does pH even stand for, first of all? It stands for potential of hydrogen. That's what pH stands for. And there's a scale that goes from 0 to 14. And most of us live in a body full of acidity, of acid, because of the foods we eat, because of the types of drinks that we drink, like sodas and that kind of a thing. So what you want ideally is to get your pH to between 7 and 8. As much as I already knew about pH, I'm learning all the incredible benefits and actually too the things that by living in a body full of acid, the diseases and everything that cause just the effects on your body is astounding, and we're going to go into that. But just explaining that, that's what pH is. We have to have a balance.
That's right. Now, if we've talked to Dr. Colbert, and a lot of people that come into his office, the first thing that he has done is he tests the pH. And the best way to figure out your overall acidic or alkaline level in your body is actually measured through your urine. And now here's the thing. The majority of people that come into his office, their pH level is around level 5. And from 5 to 7, that means that our bodies naturally are about 100 times more acidic than they should be. Because everything below 7 is acidic, everything above 7 is alkaline. And there's been so many incredible studies that we see that these diseases like cancer and other type of things that we're going to be going into on the broadcast today, they thrive whenever your body is acidic.
That's right.
And that could be changed by the food you eat, and also the best and easiest way to change it is by the type of water you consume.
That's right. Sam.
I got a letter this week, and from a Robert A. Jones from the National Space Administration, and he said he still works for NASA as technology control officer, and he has had cancer several times.
Yes.
And he read about Dr. Otto Warburg. You know who he is? Dr. Warburg is one of the discoverers of cancer, I believe. I know he did a lot of research with cancer.
Yes, he actually won the Nobel Peace Prize for cancer discovery. And he actually said this. Can I quote him really quickly?
Sure.
He says this: "No disease, including cancer, can exist in an alkaline environment."
Well, I was going to read Robert Jones's letter because he mentions that. He started drinking pH water, and then when he literally, the cancer left his body, and his body healed up. And then he said he got just lax, and he just stopped eating right because he was eating greens and doing well. And he said the cancer came back.
Right.
And he said he immediately then realized he needed to get back to his healthy diet and his regime. And he went back to drinking pH water and eating greens and things like that.
And made his body go back into an alkaline state.
And he wrote, a 2-page letter, and he wants you all to know, he wants everybody to know about Carl Palmer. He's become a friend of Carl Palmer, who is the developer and the founder of Seychelles water products. And he is just so high on this thing that he believes people need to understand what increased pH water can do for you.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
It's an incredible thing, and I love it. You see, I'm not a big fan of, and I think we all aren't, of just more of like the synthetic things. Even like when it comes to food, the more processed things, the more natural route you can go, the more godly route you can go, the better. And just this part right here, it talks about, it says, "I started to look for natural ways to combat my cancer, and during my research, I found that the higher the pH in our body, with ways to reduce the oxidation reduction potential and increase the oxygen at cellular level, would destroy the cancer."
In his research, he discovered that Otto Warburg, who won the 1931 Nobel Prize for cancer discovery, this man was a friend of Albert Einstein.
That's right.
And so you got these brilliant minds that really were responsible for discovering things that have really affected all of our lives.
Yes.
But this bottle, we have tested it. I'm using it every day now. I'm really, really thrilled with what I see it does.
Yes.
It does more than I ever dreamt it could do.
It really does.
It's just, what are the different conditions of the body that this deals with? Does anybody know?
Well, I personally have on my own list here of things that I keep in my office that I kind of research, and this is what acidity does to the body. So if you're not living in an alkaline state, which most people aren't, this is what causes acidity in your body: alcohol and drug use, antibiotics overuse, artificial sweeteners, chronic stress, declining nutrient levels in food due to industrial farming, you all know industrial farming, low levels of fiber in the diet, excess animal meats in the diet, excess hormones from foods, health, beauty products, and plastics, exposure to chemicals and radiation from household cleansers, building materials, computers, cell phones, microwaves, food coloring and preservatives, over-exercise, pesticides and herbicides, pollution, poor chewing and eating habits, processed and refined foods, what you were just saying, Zach, shallow breathing. What are the effects of acidity on our health? Allergies, asthma, congestion, fatigue, frequent colds, headaches, inflammation, joint and muscle pain, skin problems, ulcers, weight gain, over long term, too much acid in the system, arthritis, cancer, diabetes, fibromyalgia, heart disease, multiple sclerosis, osteoporosis, and stroke.
Wow. This pH Seychelles bottle can actually, it's guaranteed by Seychelles to filter 100 gallons of water. And it's actually been tested up to 300 gallons of water.
Yeah, and they just, everything that's sold, they have to reduce what it actually, so that they have to cover it by
Just
law
to be in the
or
extreme
something. I
safe
don't know what the
side,
deal
yes.
is. So they made it down to how many gallons?
100, it can filter 100 gallons of water.
But it really can do.
It's been tested up to 300 gallons of water.
Yeah, so there's a big difference.
Yes. And so we've actually found some pH water bottles online, and we found out that, for example, we use this one pH water bottle, which is actually the cheapest pH water bottle we could find, and it's $1.83 per bottle, $1.83. So I did a little math here, and I said to get 100 gallons of this pH water bottle. Now, whenever we say a pH water bottle, we don't mean you insert the water and it enhances the pH. We mean it's already has the cap on it. You drink it. Once you drink it, it's gone. All right? That's the type of bottle I'm referring to right now. To get a pH water bottle. Now, remember, so to get 100 gallons, it would be about 757 bottles of this pH water bottle. That would mean at $1.83 per water bottle, you'd be spending about $1,385.31 to get 100 gallons of this pH water.
We're offering for $100.
Yes, that's right.
This is the most.
And so it's a lot more than that. For $100, and we're having our mini-thon, so you're giving $100 to the ministry, but we're giving you back a Seychelles brand new pH 2.0 pure.
Yes.
I don't know any other like it. There might be somebody may have invented it or done it before, but all I know is this is brand new from the Seychelles company,
so
and they have been
exciting.
working on this and this special filter that's in here, and it's amazing because it still takes out almost all contaminants,
Right.
but yet it adds the pH, and they say that you can take the pH and just run it through here, and it will last 30 days in your refrigerator in a pitcher. They need to look at the deal for two, and I've sent a letter to a few of my dear friends about this. Not too many people, but I made an offer. If you get two, I'm giving you a third one as a bonus.
Wow.
And that is $200, and you get the three of them.
And Pastor, these water bottles, they retail for $120 per bottle. So this 3 for 2 special that you're talking about?
That's if you go to the Seychelles company.
Yes, that's right.
I always make these resolutions like I'm not giving everything away.
Yes, you
because,
do.
well,
But
we
then you
have to
always
pay the
do.
bills, and we got behind this last couple of months, and I know God's going to let us get caught up. And so this is a mini-thon today. And if you just order anything today, you'll be a part of our little telethon. This is our mini-thon to stay on the air. We have to pay the people to work here. And they're not independently wealthy, so they have to have some money to buy food and stuff.
We will be right back after this special message. We all know we need water to live, but we don't drink enough water to maintain proper health, and we certainly don't drink enough water to maintain proper pH balance. But how can drinking pH water actually keep you healthy? Alkaline water will give you hydration, energize you, help neutralize free radicals, and detoxify your body. This is why you need the brand new pH2O Pure Filter bottle from Seychelles. This bottle is the first of its kind to not only filter out contaminants, but also raise the pH of your drinking water to an alkaline level. This filter removes aesthetics, such as tastes, odors, and chlorine, chemicals like volatile organic compounds, detergents, and pesticides, dissolved solids like aluminum, arsenic, and lead, radiological contaminants like radon-222, cesium-134, and 137, and it will alter the pH of your water up to 9.5. You can receive the brand new pH2O Pure Filtration bottle for a donation of $100 or more to the ministry.
Dr. William Kelly, author of Cancer Cure, he says, and I quote him, "Alkaline water has become the most important advancement in health care since Sir Alexander Fleming's discovery of penicillin."
You can receive 2 bottles for a donation of just $200 or more to the ministry, and you'll receive a 3rd pH2O filtration bottle as a special bonus.
I took the most popular water.
We took that water, poured it into a glass, and let the meter test the water.
It was in the 5 point something. 5 is acid. Cancers thrive in acid. The same water that we had just tested. I put it into this bottle, the one I'm holding in my hand. Then we squeezed it out into the glass. We put the tester in it.
It was 9.1.
I mean, that's high. All the doctors that I'm reading, they want it between 8 and 9. So when it comes out your kidneys, it's about 7 to 7.1. That's
Drink high pH water anywhere, anytime with the new pH2O filtration bottle from Seychelles. Call 1-888-988-1588 or write to Jim Bakker at P.O. Box 7330, Branson, Missouri 65615. You can also donate online at jimbakkershow.com. Thank you for your continued support that helps keep us broadcasting around the world.
Well, our time's gone for today, and we want to thank all of you that have called in today to order something on our mini telethon.
Right.
And just remember, you can call night and day if the lines are busy. Just dial in the middle of the night, get up and call and talk to somebody. 1-888-988-1588. Or if you like to write letters, you can just write us at Post Office Box 7330, Branson, Missouri 65615.
Yes.
Or they can go to the Lori website.
Just go to the website, go to Jim Bakker Show. Actually, it's called jimbakkershow.com.
So do it now and order, especially today, while they're fresh in stock. We guarantee they're in stock today. The Seychelles pH2O Pure, the brand new. You know, the good thing about this, you know, you say, well, I got this beautiful machine. We paid $5,000. Well, that takes electricity. This doesn't take any electricity.
And this is portable. Yes.
But I mean, but you can use it during any time of trouble.
Yes.
I think this is going to change a lot of people's lives. And it's just one more step in our journey to good health. And as you've been with me through all my journeys, and you've seen God help me to overcome my diabetes.
Yes.
And I mean, I was shocked at my last physical. I was on a treadmill, and I mean, they had a couple doctors and nurse in the room, and they were acting like they thought I might pass out or die or something in there. And I was wondering why they were looking at me. And then I found out later from my daughter that they couldn't believe that I was 75, and that
That's
treadmill was going up higher and higher.
Nana
and I
said
was
you just
running
kept
away.
going and going, and the doctors just were in disbelief.
But the thing that surprised me, and I'm not in the, I'm not that great of health and strength. I just want to be in decent health so I can live healthy till I die. But honestly, it came back, and when the insurance company called the office to do the final paperwork, they said, you're not even a diabetic anymore.
That's awesome.
And
But
you know, and you know, and
your
and it's
whole
not,
lifestyle
but it's not.
of
But I'm going to say something
eating.
that'll shock you all. Because I told that person, and I'll tell you, no, I'm not. I'm still a diabetic. And you say, oh, you don't have faith. And Christians are going to persecute me. But if I start eating a bowl of ice cream every night and candy and soft drinks and everything, that diabetes will come back.
Yeah, you took control of it.
I had to take control.
Yes.
And you can take control of your life.
Yes.
But every bit of my blood work was perfect.
That's right.
Perfect.
I saw
They
it.
gave me the doctor papers. I mean, I got a copy because we'd asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the insurance company forwarded on to me the copy of that work. Now, it has to be, Lori, because my blood pressure used to be up. My, you know, all these things, you know. Cholesterol was way up. And
sugars, yeah.
and so they told me I was more like a younger person.
They did.
And so, and I hate saying that, but I'm, you know, I said Lori and I are the guinea pigs. We're willing to do that because we get the benefits of getting healthier by having all these marvelous doctors and health experts. And that's why when I find something like this and I read about it, and believe me, I don't believe everything I hear. I don't believe what people say, but I've read enough books, enough doctors, and dear friends that are doctors that tell me the pH water that reduces that acidity and creates a great atmosphere for healing to take place in your body.
Yes.
So why not try it? A gift of $100 to the ministry, and ask your doctors about it. Ask them what they think about pH. I know a lot of them really believe in pH.
I have partners coming to me all the time telling me to thank you and thank Mom for what you've done for them and bringing these doctors to the Jim Bakker show. So thank you again from all your partners out there.
Yeah, Kevin Sue's right. I mean, she hasn't come to her personally, and I read so many of your letters and emails, and they're saying the exact they're saying the exact same thing. Thank you. You know, thank you for helping getting us prepared. Thank you for
getting us healthy.
Thank you for, you know, preaching revelation.
Yes.
I mean, it's worth it all for you to have this opportunity to be healthy, to be prepared, to know the days we're living in. That's why we're sitting here, and that's why we do what we do.
The founder of Seychelles has been working on a little booklet, a little brochure, it's like a book, a pamphlet maybe you call it. All the information about pH and the doctors, the names of the doctors, and what they say about it, and how they recommend it, and all the different things. And so that should come with it. I think it's ready right now. I think the brochure's been done, and so you're gonna get that with it too. But when you order a Baker's dozen, it's an amazing gift to give to your family members.
Well, it's really a gift of life.
It is
what it is.
That's right.
Lori and we're not anti-medicine.
No.
Medicine is substances that is on God's earth. I mean, we believe in doctors. We do.
Absolutely.
I have a medical doctor on my board of directors here at the church. We believe in doctors, but we believe in God, and we believe in health. We believe in. I believe if we could work together to prevent.
Right. That's the key.
And I just want you to be well, because there's going to be a time, I believe, we're not going to be able to get to the doctors. We're not going to be able to get to hospitals. There's some events coming according to the Bible, not me. According to the Bible, events are coming. So let's get our healthy bodies back. Let's get as healthy as possible, so that we can make it right to the trumpet sounds if possible, but that we can win souls and that we can help them to get to heaven. Well, thank you for being with us today.
Yes.
Remember that God loves you. He really does. Bye-bye for today.
Bye-bye. We love you.
Hey, Zach and Sasha here with our Fuelless Generator. This is one of the most powerful tools that you or your family could possibly own.
We are so dependent on energy today, but by having the Fuelless Generator, you can have power anytime, anywhere.
You know, as we keep up with the news, we see that there are literally hundreds of thousands of people each year that lose their power because of storms that are happening just in the United States alone. And that's just one of the many reasons why you need a Fuelless Generator.
So today we will be showing you the practical
And impractical
uses and applications that will be so much easier if you had your own Fuelless Generator.
For example, camping is made so much easier with this Fuelless Generator.
You can even watch a movie in your tent. Just plug in a TV and a DVD player and you and your family will have fast and efficient entertainment for hours.
With a solar panel included, you will even be able to keep your generator fully charged to power your campsite.
You can even keep your refrigerated goods from spoiling at your campsite.
And when it gets dark out, you'll be able to provide light for everyone while you cook dinner using your Fuelless Generator.
This is a quiet, clean, and affordable investment that could be your power source for hunting, camping, and any other outdoor activities, making it safer and more enjoyable. So right now, we're going to show you what types of power tools you can use with your Fuelless Generator.
All right, Sasha, it's time to spice some things up. Safety goggles on. Take this cord and plug it into the Fuelless Generator. As you can see, I got a big, bad chainsaw in my hand. You're gonna be thinking to yourself, can this thing possibly cut a piece of wood from the Fuelless Generator?
Well, can it?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It sure can. Check this out. Woo, that was awesome!
Oh my gosh. Zach!
Whoa!
Oh my gosh, Zach!
I feel tough and empowered!
Well, that's what the Fuelless Generator does for you. When you have it in your home, you can do whatever you want. It's awesome.
I need to go relax for a little bit. Do you need to build something where power isn't readily accessible? No problem. Check this out. Your Fuelless Generator will also be able to power your drill. And there you have it.
Clean up your mess in no time. Just plug in your large vacuum cleaners and all your sawdust and junk will disappear. See how simple that was?
The Fuelless Generator is a great off-the-grid power source that can be carried on foot or transported in a car during a natural disaster or an emergency.
Get your family prepared today and be ready for anything by calling 1-888-988-1588.
Or write to us today at P.O. Box 7330, Branson, Missouri 65615.
Or donate online at jimbakkershow.com.
Thank you so much for your continued support.
We appreciate you helping us broadcast around the world.